South Korea's President Moon Jae-in has reached Pyongyang for the third inter-Korean summit this year with Kim Jong-un as he seeks to reboot the stalled nuclear talks between North Korea and the United States. This is the fifth inter-Korean summit ever. North Korea's Kim Jong-un made a surprise appearance to welcome the South Korean leader. Kim, along with sister Kim Yo-jong, received Moon Jae-in and his wife. Moon's visit to North Korea's capital of Pyongyang comes at a time when the US and North Korea are at loggerheads over removing nuclear weapons from the Korean peninsula. This will be Moon's third meeting with Kim Jong-un and the first visit by a South Korean president to North Korea in 11 years. South Korean President Moon Jae-in has said that he will try to break the deadlock between Pyongyang and Washington. Moon also said that nuclear talks would progress rapidly if US President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un meet again. Remember, they met for the first time at Singapore on the 12th of June this year. Now, the meeting will be a litmus test for the nuclear talks. The US has said that it was not satisfied with North Korea's progress in dismantling its nuclear arsenal, while Pyongyang was miffed that Washington did not lift economic sanctions against it. All right, and our correspondent Bruce Harrison joins us live from Seoul. Good morning, Bruce. Moon Jae-in in Pyongyang. What's up next on his agenda today?
Well, so far what we know is that the president of South Korea, Moon Jae-in, will be having a luncheon with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and then they're expected to hold their first meeting of this three-day summit in North Korea. A second round of talks will follow tomorrow. The big question is, though, what can President Moon Jae-in offer North Korea to continue inter-Korean dialogue, but more importantly, achieve denuclearization of the Korean peninsula? And as Moon has said this week, the main block to achieving that is getting U.S. and North Korea to talk again. I spoke with one of Moon's top advisors just last week, and it's still very unclear what President Moon is going to try to offer Kim to restart those stalled talks between Washington and Pyongyang. He has said in the press recently that both sides need to take bold concessions, whether that's the U.S. easing sanctions or North Korea providing more proof it's going to break down its nuclear program. That's unclear. But as we just saw, President Moon has landed in Pyongyang. Once again, it was smiles and handshakes between him and Kim Jong-un. They look like old friends, but really, will they make any progress at the negotiating table? That's yet to be seen.
Right, and Bruce, as we are watching these latest visuals from Pyongyang of the welcome ceremony in honor of Moon Jae-in, now you're in Seoul, and how much of an impact or resonance do South Koreans associate with these inter-Korean talks, the third this year, especially on the issue of an end to hostilities? Remember, both countries technically at war still as we speak. Any possibility, what are you picking about a declaration that will end the war between the two Koreas?
Well, I think South Koreans put a high priority on these talks, and they truly do want to never see hostilities return to the peninsula. But as
all right, apologies for that interruption in that live from Seoul. I'm told our correspondent is back with us. Bruce, so I meant to ask you about how much significance do South Koreans attach to North Korea's demand for a formal official declaration to end the war?
Sure. I think many South Koreans support President Moon Jae-in's position that a formal declaration should happen. At the same time, Moon is quite tied up with the U.S. and that alliance, and it's hard to get there at this time. But ultimately, I think he does have a lot of support from the public. They would like to see the war end. In fact, there's a protest going on this morning not too far from the U.S. Embassy and President Moon's office, where many NGOs and other South Koreans will be demanding that Moon make a declaration to end the Korean War a priority. They say he's too intertwined with President Trump. He's not doing enough to reach that goal, and they want it by the end of the year. President Moon, like I said, has made that a priority, but getting there is tough, especially with the U.S. unwilling to budge right now on sanctions relief or issuing a peace treaty without more proof from North Korea that it's actually going to give up its nuclear weapons.
Also, Bruce, is there any clarity yet on the sequence of steps either side will take going forward? North Korea says remove sanctions, end hostilities, and then we'll come to the issue of nuclear weapons. So is there agreement at all on either side of the demilitarized zone on the way forward on these contentious talks?
It's a bit unclear right now, and as I mentioned earlier, I spoke with one of President Moon's top advisors, and I asked him directly, what is the roadmap that Moon is going to present Kim Jong-un to give up his nuclear weapons and to bring peace to the Korean Peninsula? And he says that's on President Moon. We don't know yet. That's something we're going to find out within the next day or two, perhaps, depending on the outcome of this summit. Ultimately, though, the stalemate really is between the U.S. and North Korea. The U.S. Doesn't want to ease sanctions until, like I said, there's more proof North Korea is willing to give up its nuclear weapons. North Korea says no, we must end the Korean War first, and then we can talk further about how we can break down this nuclear weapons program. But South Korea has played it very close. President Moon's office has played it very close as far as what they're going to say to Kim Jong-un to try and encourage him to further hold talks with the U.S. and eventually hand over his nuclear weapons and his ballistic missiles and the threats that have plagued this region for such a long time.
All right, Bruce Harrison in Seoul, thank you so much for that update. Appreciate it.